What's going on, Geekdom? This is Chipmunk. The Elite versus Tony Khan and AEW hopefuls could be the biggest thing in AEW. Hear me out. Now, before we get started talking about this, and this was something that was on Busted Open that they were discussing, and I just wanted to chime in on my thoughts about it. Before we get started, I'm not bashing AEW. I don't hate AEW. I like to see AEW do better as far as just everything goes. Its viewership and stuff in the U.S. has been down and hasn't been doing as well as it used to. I know in other places it's doing fine and even better. In other places like Canada, they do very, very well in Canada. But it's just far as just an overall picture, AEW has been lacking in a lot of things. And to me, the main thing is stories. Story is what is harming AEW a lot. And I really do think that the Elite versus AEW hopefuls and Tony Khan could be its saving graces as far as getting more viewership, depending on how they just do the story. Now, are they going to do it like how I stated? No, most likely not. But it's a lot of things that people tend to just bash on AEW about is who is successful and who is making AEW successful. I heard talks about, Monet is not a big draw for AEW and stuff like that. And I was like, I think she is a big draw. It's just there's no story that makes sense for people to want to watch her at the moment. They haven't been doing anything with her. So that's the thing of what I think is just like what is harming AEW is there's no real story to draw people in. Just like with UFC, stuff like that, if you don't have something to really draw people in to come and watch your shows, watch your pay-per-views, stuff like that. But going back to AEW, this whole The Elite versus the AEW hopefuls, I agree with everything they was talking about with Busted Open. I do believe that the Elite should win in that match that they have versus Daniel Bryanson, FTR, and I'm guessing Darby. The Elite should win that. And it should continue on with the Elite being the biggest bunch of a-holes that you could find. But I think it should be more to it. I actually think it should be more of a big takeover of the Elite and the people that's on the Elite side. I don't think people should join the Elite. I think it's just people should be like supporters of the Elite and the Elite supporting them type of deal. Like with Brian Cage and Christian Cage now, supporters of the Elite and the Elite supports them. But they should be trying to take out all the other AEW hopefuls like they did with Christopher Daniels, how they fired him and stuff like that. We need more of that. We need more of I even liked it when Jack Perry poured the drink on Tony Schiavone because Tony Schiavone is on Tony Khan's side. So, they should be highlighting more of McGinnis. I forgot his name. But they should be highlighting more of him on as far as him being on commentary. But I think they should be doing just more stuff of just making and crumbling the AEW hopefuls. And also crumbling Tony Khan. Because we know that Tony Khan is sending in messages to Tony Schiavone about matches and stuff like that. Every time Tony Khan is trying to come back to the shows and stuff like that, they should be shutting Tony Khan down every single time. Like, he misses his flight because they sabotaged him trying to get to his flight. He tries to drive and travel. They mess up the car. They find some way. Like, you find some way to just try to make Tony Khan not be able to be there on the shows. I think it's pretty fun and pretty interesting, and the Elite being the cause of all of this, keeping him out and away from AEW. And then them being involved with everyone else's matches or being involved with other matches. Like, they can involve themselves with Monet, where you can have Okada and Monet in mixed tag team matches where they are just trying to crumble all the AEW hopefuls. And then once they bash on AEW hopefuls after they win this match that's coming up here at Double or Nothing, then you get those people who rise to the occasion. Tony Khan finally makes it, and he gets his super group to go against the Elite and go against all the other people who have been bashing on all the other AEW hopefuls. Like, you can get, hopefully by that time, if we can get Monet versus Britt Baker, would be awesome. If we I would think the major, because they were trying to question who would be the saving graces for Tony Khan. The only people I can think of that makes sense to me would be Will Ospreay. It depends on Kenny and how he's doing, but Kenny would make sense. But if he still can't make it, to me, it would be Swerve. Swerve would be the next one. I would thank the Lucha Brothers because their war against the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas. They've been, going at them for the longest, and they're their biggest rivalry. I think that will make the biggest sense to me in the whole rivalry with his super group. To me, that makes the most sense. That works the best. To me, that will be the super group to go against the other group when they defeat, FTR and them. As far as these are some of the biggest names, some of the biggest crowd pleasers when it comes to wrestlers. But just as far as the story goes, it's just that you have that big payoff. Like Ray said, or Bubba Ray said, you have that moment where Tony Khan finally gets his revenge. He slams the cage or he slams something. Like, he does something to cause the Elite to lose, and then he gets back his company. To me, would be the biggest story, and I think what would get people to come back and watch. Now, it's going to sound a lot similar to, like, NWA and stuff like that. I can get those comparisons. But to me, it still would make the biggest story for AEW, just to involve a lot more people and to involve this whole takeover with Elite taking over AEW type of deal. I think it would work. I think it would be the best way to work when it comes to the product to make people want to care to watch AEW and to tune in. But that's what to me worked with a lot of more people cared because of the story and how they worked with getting everyone into wanting to see what happens. It was like 2 years in the making of WWE working with this and Roman Reigns versus Cody. And they still continue to create an interesting and fun story every single freaking time. And just the biggest story that you can come up with The Rock had flourished. And yeah, it became one of the biggest things ever. So that's what AEW needs. And I think this could be that. It just depends on how they do this story again. So hopefully that's something that they do. Hopefully that's something that, could help AEW in the long run. I think it could be, but we'll definitely see. But they really got to, like, tone in on the Elite just taking over and being some of the biggest a-holes and taking it out on all the other wrestlers and all the other hopefuls where everyone is going, we really do need to be saved. So, we'll see. But those are my thought processes. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. If you like this video, please put a like on the video. If you like to subscribe, see some more of my videos, please do. Thank you all so much for jumping on and giving me a try. I really do appreciate it. Please do take care of yourselves and each other. Peace, geekdom.